This is your Saluki Radio preview. Oh, no, I'm used to saying that next to this guy. This is the Saluki Athletics Hall of Fame interview with the coach, Rodney Watson, who is being inducted later on tonight as we record this. Coach Watson, congratulations.
Thank you.
What's kind of your emotions tonight, my friend? I know how much Saluki has ran through you in terms of your blood and what this place has meant to you. How you feel entering tonight?
I am thrilled beyond measure. Got an opportunity in 1988, and Luke, I didn't realize what this place was about. When I got the job, I was working at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, Division II school in the old North Central Conference with schools like South Dakota State, North Dakota State, and so forth. And Coach Heron offered me this job, and we were working camp that summer. And I told the high school coaches I was working with, several were Creighton grads. And I told them about this job, and I'd been offered it, and their eyes were big, and they go, "You just got a major college basketball job." I say to them, "Well, I don't know about that." They're like, "What do you mean you don't know about this? They're in the Missouri Valley. You got a major college job." Luke, I didn't realize that. I also didn't realize, and I'll talk about tonight because I'm really proud of this, with the daughter, Ashley, who graduated from here in 2013. She's doing remarkable out there in the business world. But when I got here, I didn't realize this campus, within 100 steps of the Morris Library, had a med school, law school, engineering, a phenomenal business school, education, literally anything any discipline that you wanted to study. And this is a great university, and that's the second part. You think most of us come here because of the sport. And you get here, and you go to Morris Library, and you realize, no, we're part of this library. We're part of the discipline. We're only a part of it. And as I have gotten older, I've really come to realize we're a good part of it, but just a small part of what this is about.
There's a lot of history that, of course, you have here from Coach Heron when you started, going through that transition with Coach Weber to Coach Painter to Coach Lowry, then ultimately your journey as a head coach at USI. But all the way back, if you had a chance to talk to Rodney Watson in 1988, what would you tell him about what he would be about to transpire and go through at that time?
Yeah, I would not tell him this. My goal, the young 28-year-old, was hoping he could stay at this place for at least 3 years. I'd start at Coulterville. I was there for 2 years. I was at Madison High School 2 years, Nebraska Omaha 2 years. I said to Carol, I'd really like to stay here 3 years. What I didn't realize, Luke, and what I wouldn't say to the young guy because it'd scare him to death, is that Coach Heron was building this thing, and it hadn't gone real well for those first 3 years. I didn't realize, unless we got this thing going that year, it was going to be less than a one-year journey. What really happened was, and what I would tell him is, look, coach every single day like your career depends upon it, because it did. Coach Weber and I spoke about this just yesterday. Man, we were coaching for our professional lives. People were great. This place is great. We'd had success. But man, when you come to Southern Illinois or any other place, you got to coach for your life. Don't coach for the money. If you're coming for the money, it's going to be short-lived.
Look, all those accolades, 21 seasons as an assistant, 15 times going to an either NCAA tournament or NIT. And when you think of that number now, Rodney, it's hard to just get in the postseason now, especially with the landscape in college basketball, all the conference championships. What is the first thing, if there is a first thing, that you're most proud about, that you point to and you hold on to the most?
That with 3-4 different guys, we built a program. That's why I'm so thrilled about that, and feel just very proud of how we built a championship program, a top 100 program in the country, Luke, over 21 years. I mean, you're talking, when you can say you're a top 100 program of whatever it is, 352, 354, that number today, when you're in the upper 1/3 of your field, man, you are doing something. And again, there's so many factors. It's not just that we had great players, which we did. I mean, the recruiting is your lifeblood, no doubt about it. But the teams we played, the opportunities that we had, the opportunities to play in front of packed houses. Not every night was packed now. There were nights we were begging for fans, okay? But, those are the things we're proud of, just to be able to just continue to win championships, even when things were down, be able to bring it back up.
Look, everyone talks about the importance of a locker room, how it's really no doubt a sacred place. And no doubt it was during your time here as an assistant. But there's also the bus. It's those people that travel with you to every game, that are instrumental. How important was that Saluki bus for you from all those years of starting with Coach Heron? And I'm not even just talking about assistant coaches. There's key support staff members that are part of that were massive in your development as a coach and as a man.
When I get an opportunity tonight to thank so many people over 21 years, and Luke, it's about, as I figured it out, I had direct or indirect contact with about 250,000 people, student body and so forth. But Nancy Dennis was our secretary. Oh, that title's not even close for what she did. She solved a lot of our problems. She kept some disorganized guys as organized as she could. But so she wasn't always on the bus, but the people on the bus are critical because we knew the good days, we knew the bad days. I say to people that aren't in the coach profession, the difference between a coach and someone that's in business, when you have a bad day in business, you know it, your wife, your spouse knows it, but the community doesn't know it. When you have a bad day in college basketball, everybody in Southern Illinois knows it, that wants to know about it. And so the people on that bus are so critical, and just the number of people, it was about 21 people that really was critical. Ed Thompson, Doc Knapp, the trainer and team doctor, Fred Huff, Tom Weber, those guys with sports information were critical, and then certainly your coaches and your student managers and your players. But the locker room's sacred, and it's got to be a trusted space that there are just certain times when not everything needs to be out in Southern Illinois. And in this day and age, as I grew into this profession, social media became more prevalent, but it really wasn't as nearly what it is today. But still, you had people digging, and everyone wants to know, but it's a really critical piece to growing a championship program.
I know you because you're just such a really good friend and a great friend at it. This honor is not, it's a humbling one for you because we've had so many of the conversations of, how many great ones that haven't gotten the call yet. But you also know you're very deserving of this honor tonight. What does it mean to know that you are now in the Hall of Fame, a place that it's really hard to get into in Saluki lore?
A person I looked up to was George Ubelt, who had been here for 19 seasons. And he was with Coach Hartman in the NIT Championship and Coach Lambert in the first Sweet 16. He then went on to work with Julie Beck, and they helped Cindy Scott hang banners. And I always thought, in those first couple of years, how do you stay at a place? Julie Beck, 17 years. George Ubelt, 19 years. How do you stay at a place nearly 2 decades? That's impossible. Today, I'm not sure it is possible. Yeah. Now I look back and think, 21 years, is that real? It's kind of like going through the pandemic. It's like, did we really do those things? But in 21 years, I worked for 4 great men, and they never once asked me to compromise my morals. That's what's really key in this whole thing. Yeah, we had ups and downs. We had times where things didn't go well, and I was a part of that. And there were times when things went well, and I think we were all a big part of that as well. So that's what I think about 21 years. I don't know how, I just don't know how that happened. I really kind of given up on thinking, being a head coach, it's so hard to get one of those jobs. It's hard to get an interview. Finally, on one stormy day in May in 2009, I got a call from Southern Indiana, and the rest is history on that. But the time here really cemented who I was professionally. Really taught me how to coach. It taught me my philosophy. It cemented that. Really helped me as a man, hopefully as a husband, hopefully as a father.
Coach, congratulations on a well-deserved honor. I know you're going to enjoy the night. Be sure to soak it in, and I think we'll talk again. I think we'll have some more conversations.
I hope so, Luke. This is fun.
Absolutely. The coach, Rodney Watson, now officially a Saluki Hall of Famer. Be sure to stay tuned for extended coverage of the class of 2025 to the Saluki Athletics Hall of Fame.